So this is Headliner Life, uh, how to sell your stuff without selling out. By the end of this event, you will feel like a star and you will have some copy to match that energy. So you will actually get some writing done, do a little bit of copy marketing work while you are in here. Plus, you will hear about a way to keep working with me. So before we get into the marketing stuff, here's the truth. I used to hate marketing. You couldn't find a person who didn't want to promote their stuff more than me. I don't think. I hated it. And I hated it because I worried that I was a bother to people. It just always felt like I was just bothering people, annoying them. I like a sellout. Not that I had sold anything worth noting, but it just felt like, isn't it gross to be promoting this much? And then marketing stuff just felt so corporate and boring. Like, do I have to become boring in order to have anything go anywhere? And so, because of all of that, I hardly did marketing at all. And the baseline thought of me was, who's going to care about this? So when I went to write an email, if I went to do an offer, when I used to act and do a show, who's going to care? Who really wants to see you? Who wants to hear from you? And because all of these things were my baseline, every time I tried to market my work, it did feel like pulling teeth. Because, like, would you want to go and do something that's bothersome, annoying, corporate, and nobody cares? Like, of course you don't. But because of that, then I had two failed newsletters that I could not keep up with because I just thought I was too much of a bother. I had a failed business that went nowhere. I did shows to literally one person in the audience. I was wildly underpaid. So even though I would be hopping around 3 jobs at a time minimum, I still was hardly making enough. And I was creatively unsatisfied. So even the times I got to do some of the creative stuff I wanted to, the fact that I didn't know when I'd get to do it again or if I would have enough money to do it and all that kind of stuff left me very creatively unsatisfied. But then things changed. So late in the pandemic, like August of 2020, I was tired of my copywriting job and I finally was just like, I'm going to try again, but I have to just do whatever I fucking feel like. Because isn't that the point? Isn't that the point of having your own business? And I learned marketing doesn't have to be a crime. And so with that switch, my business, it doubled my full-time salary in the first year. I have spoken in front of thousands of people. I have taught thousands of people. My newsletter has 11,000 subscribers, and I have made $820,000 since 2021, which still is really something. I took this yesterday. As you can see, I'm not an internet liar. Not that you thought I was. But that's what happened. And then students get amazing results. So the people I work with, so it's not just that, like, oh, cool. You know, if I wanted to just make money, I would go do crypto or some bullshit. You all don't want that either, right? You want to do something that's meaningful. And so people that work with me say things like, I got more done in 2 weeks than the last 2 years. I put off doing something for a year and got it done today. And Callie even said, in all caps, Amber is a miracle worker. That's right. I can't stop screaming. You're welcome. That was her literal quote. And oh my God, my clients have grown newsletters to over 1,000 subscribers, started brand new businesses, set up Patreons to get out of the blue sales, filled workshops and coaching, and they have been everywhere. If you've heard of a newspaper, they have been in it at this point. BuzzFeed, Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, Business Insider. It's practically just called Amber's Clients Insider. At this point, there are so many people that get in there. Thrillist, Eater, Gastro Obscura, a bunch of people in McSweeney's, Mental Floss, Vox, and more. We've had people appear on CNN. Their Huffington Post piece went viral, so they got a news story about them. That's happened twice. So that's what happened by marketing. I not only got to, like, finally not work 1,000 jobs and be underpaid, but make a living that is exciting to me. And I get to work with fascinating people so that they get to share more of their voice and their genius. So the difference wasn't the marketing strategy. It's not like I suddenly did bling bling bloom, listened to some big bro and just did it. Like strategy has been important in parts, but the main difference was weirdness. Weirdness. Because when I was first doing stuff, I would put all my weird creative ideas in my creative stuff, but when I went to market it or promote it, I took all of that away as though I had never understood how to talk to people or use words. I just started as though I knew nothing. And because of that, marketing was very bland and nothing. So it didn't stand out at all. And from the jump with this business, I've leaned into my weirdness, and it doesn't always look like anything extraordinary, but just the difference of I used pinup photos for my professional photos. I would swear as much as I wanted to, and I will today, so there may be swears. There will be, I would reference The Little Mermaid if I felt like it. Just stuff that was not professional and a little bit me, and every step of the way, that got more people. And it's funny, the things that got me made fun of, the more I lean into that and the more I share that weirdness, the more people I attract, who then get something and put their voice out there louder, and so on and so on. And therefore, the weirdos can take over the world, right? But weirdness really was the key. And this is why that's exciting, because you're already good at that. Yes, there are marketing little things to learn, and there can be strategies that are very important. But if you assume it's not going to work or hate it and lean away from what makes you unique, then it doesn't matter what strategy you use, it's going to be hard. And what happened was, instead of forcing myself into a corporate marketing mold, I made marketing part of my art, part of my creativity. And that is the system that we're going to go through right now. We're going to go through HAM and the 3 Ps. Yes, hooray for weirdos. Liz, yeah, I needed to just be myself in my writing and voice instead of thinking about what other people would think. Exactly, because other people, somebody's going to hate you no matter what. Somebody's going to love you no matter what. So what happens is that weirdness, I'll actually talk about this in a second. So, but that's where you want to lean in, because people are going to, if they really want to talk shit, they're talking shit. So I would rather them talk shit about something that was fun to me, like what the fuck? Why is she opening with a song and like a cheap ass sequin shit? I'd much rather people talk shit about that than me like in a blazer feeling constrained already and then saying, oh, well, it wasn't really anything special. So HAM and the 3 Ps are 2 kind of marketing systems you can use to help you harness this and put it into action. So one is a little more mindset based, and the other is a little more practical. Oh, Liz. Oh. And yeah, I'm sorry I can't acknowledge all the comments all the time, but please keep them coming. That it just makes everything feel so much more fun. So go HAM. HAM is an acronym. Uncanny ham if you want to, but it's an acronym. The first piece of HAM is headliner headspace. Now, I used to get really annoyed when I started my business when people would be like, you know what, to really succeed in business, it's just mindset. And I'd be like, yeah, what's the mindset for making your fucking emails work though? Like, how do you do it? And so sadly, now I'm here to tell you a little bit that it really is your mindset. Not completely, but it is a piece of it. And instead of thinking of it as like, I've got to get into a Zen state or I have to like reach a higher level or anything like that, it's really just, you can't think this probably isn't going to work or nobody's going to like this every time you put something out there. When you do that, when you write copy for something where in the back of your head you're going, oh, this probably isn't good enough, then that copy is going to reflect that and it's going to reach fewer people. Now, the fun part is that you don't have to go, actually, I'm the greatest. The world will shine bright in my gift. Like, you don't have to do that. Instead, just think, hey, somebody will probably like this. Remind yourself that every time you write copy. Somebody will probably like that. If that feels easy, then go, somebody's going to love this. Just feel that for a second and write your copy. And if that feels easy, then go, they love this. They love this. And then write your copy. Just those little tiny things help flip you from the very self-conscious, what does everybody think mode, and into, oh, right. Well, I'm just thinking about the people that might not like it. There's plenty that will, and I am talking to them. And then when you go to market and think, well, where should I put this or how do I find people? Well, who needs to hear about this? If you think, okay, somebody out there likes it, and so who needs to hear about this? You'll start to think of real people you could share it with. You'll start to think of, oh, well, people tend to be on Instagram that I work with. Or, oh, no, they like this newsletter. Maybe I could put an ad there. It helps you get out of that self-consciousness and into where your stuff is actually going to be more useful. And that makes the process much easier. So H is headliner headspace. And again, you're the headliner, you know? And that's what I like about the term headliner is headliner can be a lot of things. It can be Lady Gaga at Coachella. It could be huge, or it could be somebody that makes a headline story in their local paper. It's whatever level you want it to be, but it still is the star of a show. It still is the person that is worth listening to, the person people are looking forward to seeing more from, because that is you. That is exactly what people already think that about what you do. And if you're like, no, they don't, somebody does, don't argue with me. Somebody does already. So now you're just going, cool, how am I going to find more of those people? And that makes it easier. So H is headliner, headspace. A is anti-perfectionist action. This was a massive change that made my business work. Before then, I would just worry about things so much and try to plan 5 years ahead of time. This will happen and this will happen. Well, I better research this to make sure I know how to do it. And then this will go and then that will go. And I would make these huge plans in my head and then look at those plans and say, oh my God, that's a lot. Jesus, I got to do all that. And then get tired and not do anything. Or I would start something and it wouldn't look like that grand plan right away. So I would get frustrated and nitpick it and then stop before it ever saw the light of day. With this business, I knew that I just had to get things out there, that if I didn't, I wouldn't actually have information to work with. So I let myself put out stuff faster than I normally would. And that is true for all of you. So then instead of obsessing over it, I would put it out, it would do well. Oh my God, great. Now I can expand upon it. Or it doesn't do well, but then at least, okay, cool. It's not like I was killing myself over it. Now I'm getting information on why it didn't do well. I can make tweaks, all that kind of stuff. That's real information you can use. Whereas all the pre-planning and, well, I don't want to do this and all that is worthless, sadly. That will not help you get forward. And the truth is, for all of you here, because who's a perfectionist in the room? And if I could see hands literally, I would see all the hands, I'm pretty sure. So remember that a lot of times as perfectionists, we want to trick ourselves. We're like, hey, yeah, thank you, Nora. Yeah, you don't have to, thank you for raising your hands though. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you. But yeah, right, we got a bunch. And a lot of times we trick ourselves into, hey, well, yeah, I know it can't be perfect, but I just want to make it really good. Well, guess what? Your brain just tricked you into making really good essentially perfect. And the reality is your bar for what's good enough is wrong. What you think is good enough is 300%. So when you are stressing yourself out to go to 300% every time, it's no reason you burn out. When really all people wanted was 50% in the first place. Quick example, when I was in school, I wrote a paper. I was like, oh, this will probably do. I was like, this is just okay. It was 11-page, one single-spaced paper for this history class. Everybody else in class had 1 page of 5 paragraphs. But that just, and I wasn't trying to even shine. I just thought that was the bare minimum. And I guarantee so many of you are like this too, especially with your businesses and with your offers and things that you care about. You want it to be good. So the truth is, your baseline is already exceptional. So when you are just putting out your baseline, that's enough. So that means practicing being half-assed sometimes. It means actively sharing stuff that doesn't feel ready. And that part is scary, but it gets easier over time. I would not have a business at all if I didn't do this. It is the main reason it works because I'm able to go, okay, that's the deadline. I'm putting it out there. It's a little scary to me, but I'm going to trust that I care. I'm very knowledgeable and I know I don't give bullshit. So I trust this is enough. And the more you do that, you find, oh, I was right. It's true. And then you can make your own life easier. Then, so H is headliner headspace, A is anti-perfectionist action, and M is masterpiece marketing. So masterpiece marketing is the idea of making marketing your art, making it creative, of letting yourself enjoy it first, rather than worrying about what the algorithm is going to do or what's going to convert best. Listen, if you're in a space already where if you're in a space already where you're like, marketing is down pat, you got 10 funnels running, it's no problem. I frankly don't know why you're here. You probably nailed it. But for anybody else, when you're starting a new offer or you're pivoting in your business, thinking about this masterpiece marketing is the most important part, because later you can worry about the conversion rates and tweak it and do all that stuff. But if you are dying at the thought of doing the stuff at all, it's going to be labored, it's not going to be consistent, and it's not going to stand out in the way your content and what you actually make actually does. So remember, basic marketing is bland, boring, and beneath you. A lot of that shit is old. The thing with marketing, and also, if you're like, but I don't have a marketing degree, I don't have this and that, it doesn't matter, because now marketing changes very, very quickly. People are inundated with stuff, so they learn the tricks faster. So if you ever hear people talk about, oh, well, this isn't working and this isn't converting, well, half the time it's just because people got smarter than their fucking tricks. So yeah, some of the marketing tricks don't work, like when they would lie to you or be super misleading or do that kind of stuff. Yeah, that doesn't work. But what does work and is working is being interesting, unique, and loud. Loud doesn't mean yelling, but it means out there with reasonable consistency. That's what actually stands out. And that's what you're naturally good at. So just like before, I thought, oh, I got to promo myself now. I've got to do marketing. Okay, let me switch my brain to like LinkedIn robot. That's not what it is. Start with your creativity. Okay, if this were a story, how would I do it? If I were coaching somebody, what would I say? If this were one of my offers, how would I want to put that together? Start there. And it can seem silly to like make marketing enjoyable, but it's so helpful. It's so helpful. Like when I first did a musical webinar, do you want to know the reason was? It wasn't like conversion rates or like KPIs. It was, I wanted to sing songs. That's why. And so then I went, okay, how could I make that how could I make that helpful for people? How could that help people learn? And then I thought about it and I made the songs that way. And I was like, oh, songs are good anyway, because they are catchy. They repeat things. They help people remember. So I put my audience in mind immediately, but it still started from what I wanted to do. And then it's exciting to share that. It's exciting to promote it because now there's a real live piece of you inside of it. So start with your own creativity and then make that marketing. A recent example, a client was selling something that wasn't selling a lot at first. And then she decided to make an ad that she posted in her newsletter and elsewhere. She just made it a limerick describing her offer. And then she sold 10 of them off of a limerick because that legitimately was something that was exciting to her. So that's what I mean by masterpiece marketing. The creativity and your enjoyment comes first. All right. Now we're going to dive into masterpiece marketing just a little bit more. So this is where some of the practical kind of stuff comes in. And then after that, then we're going to have some time to actually like put it into practice. Awesome. Great. I feel like LinkedIn is death to creativity. It feels that way, but then let's say you do have an audience on LinkedIn. Like if you're interesting on LinkedIn, well, hot hell, like that's going to get attention. So that is, yeah, the more fun I have, the more money I make. I've heard that too. That is it is, it doesn't always feel true. I'll tell you that. But at the end of the day, because I'll feel that way. So I'm like, I don't seem to be having a lot of fun right now. I don't know, fun will do what? I gotta go on a water slide and that makes me money. I don't know why water slide was the peak of fun in my brain right there. But when you zoom out, like it is actually true. It doesn't pay off instantly always, but it is always true. So with masterpiece marketing, so now we're talking about the marketing part. We still always maintain that idea of headliner headspace and anti-perfectionist action. Those are kind of like the tenets you live by. And then for the marketing, here is a way to make it simple. This is one way I make it simple. Because as a creative person, you probably have tons of ideas. You have a lot you want to do, or you have so many ideas, you don't know where to start and all that. And I find that then as you're trying to apply marketing, it's just so easy to want to do everything. And that just adds to that overwhelm. So we want to simplify it. We simplify with the 3 P's. The first P, produce. This produce section is where you talk to your own audience. So that is your newsletter or your email marketing. And this is also your offers that you make. And some of this might be a little bit of a recap for everybody, but it's kind of nice to see it labeled like this because I bet it is a simpler way of thinking about it than you maybe have before. So we have one channel that's produce. Talking to our own audience. We want to keep talking to our own audience so they know us and trust us. They're aware of our stuff. They're interested in our offers. If you don't have an email list, I highly, highly recommend it. I know you don't have to have one, but it's just so much easier. It really is. And email marketing has been around since we had to caulk the wagon to ford the digital river on the Oregon Trail, right? It's the oldest digital marketing and it still works. So email is great. And you talk to your audience. That's where the most sales come from. I mean, for almost every business. So one of the channels is your produce channel. Now, the other 2 channels are how you're getting more new audience to that existing audience. So how you're getting new people to your email list, how you're getting new people to your audience. So one is pitching. Now, pitch does mean pitching your story to newspapers, magazines, stuff like that, like lots of my clients have done. But a pitch more broadly means you are asking for a new audience on a one-to-one basis. So that could mean you're pitching yourself to be on a podcast. It could mean that you are asking somebody to do a newsletter swap. You could be asking somebody to share your work. So it's where you're, talking one-on-one to somebody to get in front of their audience. So pitching media is one of the big things that I do, but even just asking people to share, promo swaps, collabs, those work really well too. So that's pitch. And then the last channel is promote. This is where you are reaching a mass audience. So that's social media or ads. So social media or ads, not every social media, just choose one. And for ads, I think people can be wary about ads, but I just wanted to share some fun facts. My business started, and I mostly did newsletter ads. So I placed ads in other newsletters. And that's how I got like 9,000 of my subscribers. I got quite a few that way. I would do newsletter ads to my webinars. Now, those have been performing a little bit less well this past year, but they do still work. So that's something that can be a little bit more affordable or be good for very targeted audiences. And then I just wanted to share this. Because I've been very not into meta ads, Facebook ads. They've been so up and down for me. I had one that was $150 a lead, but I have done one now where I got 663 signups in like 3 weeks, and the ad cost is $1.06 a lead. So I'm sharing this not to tell you to like do meta ads. I'm just saying ads do work. They do work, and they can be a very good option when you have less time and you want to grow more quickly. But anyway, that's a part of promote. So it's produce, pitch, promote. You only need to do one of each. So you keep in touch with each of these 3 touch points, and that just keeps like the wheel of your marketing moving. So that could be 1 email a week, 1 reach out to somebody for a collab, a post on Instagram, some posts on Instagram, whatever. You can do it at whatever speed. Obviously, the more you do these, the faster you'll grow, but also you don't want to burn out. So you want to pick the speed that works for you. But by just doing one of each P, you're growing your audience in a very holistic way and a way that's more manageable for you. Because the thing we want to avoid is just stopping the wheel entirely. Because things get busy. Oh, this offer's going well. Oh, you have all this stuff to do. Oh my God, your coaching sold out. So then like your emails fall away. And then like your pitches fall away and your social media falls away. And then once that influx is over, you're like, oh, shit. And you got to start it all over again. So this is a way where you can really mark in doing one of each of these every week. And then if you can do them easily, kind of no matter what, your marketing wheel is always going to turn. It's going to help make it less feast or famine. You're still always going to have high times and low times, but it does even it out. And because of the momentum, it makes it just much, much easier to keep doing it. And you can do whatever combo you want. It's not like you pick one of each and stay forever. It's just a little bit of structure. Because I think what can make marketing hard and where I see it go off a little bit for creatives is you either see a lot of like, this is the plan, you do this exact thing. Or, hey man, do whatever you want. And both are hard. So the 3 Ps is some guidance, some options so you have a structure, but you still have the flexibility to let your energy and creativity kind of lead the charge. Now, that's the first part. That's the practical part. The next step, as I talked about earlier, it's weirdness. It is weirdness. Be weird. The weirdness was the first time you stood out. And the reason I say weirdness is because I could say personality or like being yourself, but I think that's very broad. I am many different selves depending on the day. But weirdness, I think you had an idea of what I meant the second I said it and what it means to you. And it'll be different for everybody in here. So weirdness kind of gets at that real deep part that made you stand out. Because if you did get made fun of, like me, that weirdness made you stand out from the crowd. But that was threatening or scary to people, so they tore it down. And we learn that weirdness is not safe. But the good news is weirdness, well, one, we're older now. It's been a while since I was in school. As you might have guessed, that's not happening anymore. But what we do is we internalize those bullies instead. So every time you think, oh, it's going to be a bother, who's going to care about this, or what are people going to think? We've just like given these bullies like prime seating in our brain. And why the fuck would we want to listen to them? Oh my God, no. So when you lean into your weirdness, one, it immediately like pushes that bullying bullshit in your brain away. It doesn't get rid of it, but it pushes it away. And it gets you back to that true, unique creative spark that makes you naturally stand out. And it might be scary and you think like, everybody's just gonna troll me online. But even if that happens, you'll still always land on top. Like do a Lady Gaga. This literally, they had a Stephanie Germanotta, you will never be famous Facebook group at NYU. And if you've been around NYU Tisch kids, no offense if you went to Tisch, they're annoying people for the most part. Again, not everyone. So the fact, it's not too surprising they made a Facebook group about this. And so Lady Gaga obviously was like probably not thrilled about it, but always committed to her weirdness. She went bigger with her costumes, bigger with her ideas, bigger with everything she did. And because of that, she didn't just like stand out from the crowd. She like reigns above the crowd. She is so far above so many other pop stars. And so now she can do a big thing where she's dancing with skeletons, and people are like, yes. When I saw this skeleton dance, I was just like, I could feel how made fun of she would have got if she did this in high school. And now the fact that everybody's just like, live, it just, oh, fills my soul. So, weirdness, yes, can put you up against some people being dicks, but the weirdness isn't, it's really not a risk because it's more of your true self. It's what's going to make you stand out on the internet to get more attention, to get clients, and get more money. And so that weirdness, because it's always there with you, in a way, it's your biggest security. It's what you naturally can do, that no matter what, you're always going to think differently and be different than so many people on the internet. And that is real security. Because if you lean into that, you can always build an audience that wants more, and build an audience that wants what you make, which is creative freedom, right? Creative satisfaction. So it's scary, but lean into your weirdness. So with all of that being said, so I want you to, we're going to just do a quick like 2-minute exercise. And I want you to think about what's a creative thing you've wanted to make. Like it doesn't even have to be related to your business. What's a little creative thing you've wanted to do? Poem, collage, illustration, anything. Then I want you to see, okay, how could I make that marketing? How could that sell my offer? How could that lead people to my newsletter? How can I make that marketing? So I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to do this, and then we'll be back. Okay, that's it for now. I know that was fast. So feel free to keep brainstorming a little bit if you like. Um, and then, yes, I would love, go ahead and put some of your ideas on here. And then I can talk. So if you're like, how would I make this marketing? Go ahead and put that in here and we will talk about it. Also, I saw a thing from earlier of, hey, I get a lot of people on my email list, but nothing converts. So one is, how much are you actually selling them? How much are you actually selling them? So you give them all this value, great. So then how much are you actually selling them then on the thing you do? Are you treating what you sell with as much like care and interest and weirdness as you're treating the value that they're giving? Because a lot of times I see people like, yeah, bringing people in, the value, the free stuff is easy because sharing free stuff is easier, you know. But then when it comes to selling, we go from, here's all this value and here's what you can do. And I know you can do it. And then, all right, well, if you do want to learn a little bit more, here you go. It's over here. And here's the price. So, so just know that so check to see if you are treating your offer with the same kind of energy that you're treating your free stuff. Because I have found for clients and for myself that a lot of times there's a disconnect there, that it really does feel like, yeah, everybody. And then just like, all right, so if you would like to do this, then go ahead, And so we want to maintain that energy the same throughout and sell them. Not once, not twice. You have to sell things often. When I do email sequences, sales sequences, I send 10 emails in 7 days or sometimes in 6 days. It's a lot. You have to mention it a lot. So another thing I see with creatives is you're doing all the work and you're bringing people in, but the sales is so minimal because you don't want to upset them. You don't want people to unsubscribe, that kind of stuff. And so treat your offer as the most beautiful creative thing that it is. And then tell people why it is so great. Because when you're selling something, you've made something great, people should want it. And you kind of have to treat it that way. And if you're treating it as like, oh, but yeah, I know it's expensive, or I know it's this or that, that's again, we're kind of like getting back to the like headliner headspace can help. Of think of a real thing in life that you recommend to people. So like, I love little ghosts. Oh, you can't see it? It's a real ghost. I love little ghosts. I would recommend that little ghost I have to everybody. And I would go, oh, it's so cute. And I know you don't need it, but I see it on my desk. And I would describe all these things, basically telling somebody to buy it, right? It's easy because I didn't make it. So we have to get to that same place with our own stuff. And that's where you can say, all right, I also get to do this creatively. What's a reason people might not buy? Maybe they don't have enough time. Okay, how can I creatively talk about how this saves them time? I've done that before I've used stories from trying to buy a prom dress in the early 2000s to sell a course. I have talked about all different kinds of stories or parables or things like that, just to illustrate things in different ways so that people actually get a sense of the real value. So kind of went on a tear there, but that's something to think about. Are you really investing that same energy and creativity into shining a brilliant light onto what you're selling? Excellent. Liz wants to make a zine so bad. So like a zine, so especially if you have a business that's local at all, printing out your own zine is pretty easy to do, like pretty accessible. You can use Canva to design it and stuff. And then handing that out at local businesses, coffee shops, stuff like that, where people would potentially be in your audience, can be a very cool way to sort of grow. Like, and then you can still talk about your offers in the zine. They're like the ads in a magazine, So you would still be showing off your work, your creativity, and having a literal ad for what you do. And if that's that exciting to you, it is worth a try. Because the worst that happens is you make it, you send it out, maybe it doesn't get as much of a response, but now you've made it and you're going to have a better idea of what you want to do next. As opposed to right now, we're going, oh, I just want to make a zine so bad. Oh, but I don't know. But it's fun. And we just argue with ourselves. So we can cut all that time out and just go, okay, I'm going to make a zine. How can I make sure it highlights what I sell at some point? And let me make sure it shows off what I do, my personality, my style, the most, so that it really attracts the right people. And then also you could have a digital zine that you could offer as a freebie for sure to grow your email list and all that kind of thing. Yes, musicians here could write jingles. Absolutely. Lisa, I want to make little games, but I don't know how it would make people want to sign up for my newsletter. which would not have games in it. So some of it, it's like, you've already done this, Lisa. I know Lisa from other stuff. Part of it is like, okay, how does the game relate to poetry? So even you sharing some of your RPGs you've made or your choose your own poetry adventures, just share those. Like share those among people or have people sign up for them. That totally promotes your Patreon. Like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original movie, was only like it was greenlit because Quaker had the rights to like the Roald Dahl, Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory stuff. They had the rights to use it and they wanted to sell a new candy bar. So they made that whole movie. And that's one of the best. I love that movie. And it was only made because some executive was like, I'm trying to sell candy bars. Almost any 80s cartoon was made because they wanted to sell toys. But what do people like? Cartoons. Oh, and then they also grow to like them and buy the toys. So that kind of marketing has been out there a lot. So the idea of like sharing a game that shows off your poetry in a different way, I think could totally do that. Um, Painting, cooking, sewing, quilting. And so even cooking, it's like you could just, if you're making one, a simple thing, as you're cooking, just film it and then make that into reels. Just film that as B-roll and then put your stuff about writing over it. Like put whatever you want to share over it. And the B-roll is you actually doing something you like. That's a really, you could do that with sewing and quilting too. Yeah, a lot of times thinking about, yeah, what does quilting have to do with writing? Because maybe sharing about how making this quilt helped you write the story, for example, that allows people to see what you're talking about in a different way. So maybe they understand how you talk about beginning, middle, and end better through the quilting metaphor than they ever did before. And that's great. You can wrap yourselves in quilts and take pictures just because you want to. Just showing that, like, with writing, I think a lot of times with writers, it's like you don't have to just write all the time. Like, living a rich creative life will only improve your stories. Um, yeah, so Mariola wanted to make her own paper and oil pastel drawings and link that to little poems I write. So then, like, Mariola, make your paper, write your poems on that paper, take a picture of it, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok. That's how you're sharing your poems. And now it's visually much more interesting. The writer Amy McNee, she's inspired to write on Instagram. She does something kind of like that. Yours is actually different. It sounds visually like really cool, but she has a huge Instagram from kind of doing stuff like that. So do an oil painting and put your poetry over it. Or you can even just share your painting and then share the poem that inspired the painting or vice versa. Like those things go hand in hand that you could share in a newsletter or definitely in like Instagram. RC, jokes. Jokes are great in ads. You can share memes. That brings people to you. Like jokes. There are big companies that hire comedians all the time to write jokes for their ads and their marketing. And then they usually cut all the shit out and make it boring. How do I know? Guess. But like adding jokes to how you promote your stuff, like, is an excellent way to do it. Okay, so awesome. And Marielle says, it's hard because I'm a painter, but scared to post my poems. Yeah, and I totally get it because poems are personal in a different way. And that's one of the things where you just think about, okay, well, but what do I want to do? Do I want more people to read my poems? Well, the only way that's going to happen is if I share them. And adding the painting aspect makes it a little easier because you can trick yourself into going, well, you know what? People will like the painting. So if they like the poem or not, it's okay. I'm already giving them a beautiful painting. So it's kind of a nice training wheels way to do it. Because yes, making your weird come out and diving into it for marketing, it doesn't make the fear instantly go away. Sometimes it makes it worse. But you have to think of, but what would I rather have? Would I rather keep thinking about what I want to do or how I want to do it or how I know that would be exciting and not? Or do I want to move in this direction and get bigger so I can blow up my business and really get the attention I deserve? Or I can, and the bad news is when you stay scared, you don't get like less scared. You're still scared of thinking of it. You're still thinking about all the things you want to do, and that causes turmoil and anxiety. And I'm telling you, when you put your stuff out there, yes, there are scary moments, and sometimes people are mean. But dealing with the actual meanness of people, for me, has been 100 times easier than dealing with the meanness from myself. Because my internal criticisms, stopping myself and knowing I wasn't like living up to my potential and all that, was 1,000 times worse every time than somebody calling me a fat asshole or that I swear too much or that I'm a scam. Because those maybe sting a little bit, and then I go, fuck that asshole. And then I'm more motivated to work. So that's what actually happens. It's still scary, but doing that, again, anti-perfectionist action. Fuck you, perfectionist brain. I'm putting it out there. So, what I want you to do is to lean into your headliner energy, lean into this weird creative energy, because you have something right now. I gave you 2 minutes. You already came up with something. You could make that painting the next time you have a chance, write a poem, you're out. You could be adding jokes to everything you do immediately. You could have B-roll of your cooking. Great. You just did your social media while you cooked. It's like it just makes it so much easier. And lean into the cringe. Lean into it, because somebody will always find something cringe. But I am really sick of the internet and the world just being full of loud assholes with unearned confidence. And when we step back and when we hide ourselves, or when we are worried about being too much, we just give more space for those fucking assholes. And I am over it. You are the people that should have attention. You are the people that should be making headlines and making cash hand over fist. But we can only do it if we lean into the cringe, if we spite those fucking bullies in our brain, if you share your creativity so other creatives become as brave as you. Because every time you do it, somebody sees it and goes, oh my God, I didn't know you could share poetry like that and it looks beautiful. I didn't know you could make jokes like that. Oh my God, maybe I can do something like that. So it's not even just for you and your business and your money, although all of that is amazing. It is also lighting up another creative person. It's adding another creative voice to the world. It's taking energy and air away from just the loudmouths that have dominated forever. You are helping somebody be brave every single time you do it, and you're going to make money. So it only makes the world better. You are a headliner. So take this energy with you after the call. And now I do want you to imagine having this energy every day, month after month. Like, your audience would explode. If you put this stuff out regularly with that kind of energy, offers sold out on the pre-sale. And so you would have also that creative satisfaction that brings in cash. Because like I said, I was working all over the place, doing a million things. I was not creatively happy. Now I get to do a business where I write songs. I get to send little stories every week if I want to. I take fun, weird pictures like a witch. I might go have a retreat in a castle. Like, that is so creatively stimulating. And I help other people just add more of that to the world and be more successful and get the attention that they deserve. So that also comes when marketing is just another outlet of your creativity. And so, like, I have an offer for you. If your money varies month to month and you know you're just too good for that anymore, or you've got so many wonderful ideas, you know you want to do it, but just overthinking spirals get in the way, or you want 10K months and more, and you just know the traditional business rules and routes are not it. So you're ready to move fast and take control of your career. If you are invited to Headliner House. Never rely on gatekeepers again. This is my membership. It's formerly called Pitching Hour, but now we have new tiers, and it is focused on going ham and making sure the 3 Ps get done every week. So your marketing wheel always stays in motion and you treat it like art. You move instead of overthink, and you remember that you're the fucking headliner, not the second banana. It's the only membership that makes marketing art. You can get a bigger audience, increased cash, and creative control. And for 12 months, you'll have massive media attention. Like I said, people have been spotlighted on the cover of New York Times, all kinds of stuff. Offers people can't wait to buy, and confidence in your work that can't be stopped. And you're going to help so many people feel joy, feel creative freedom. What you do is wonderful. If you're a coach, you're helping people express themselves. If you're a writer, you're giving people new worlds or insights into their own humanity. If you run any kind of creative business, you're not just selling crap. You're selling something that actually makes somebody's life better. So more people get to feel better the more you do this. So in Headliner House, there are 3 tiers. There is Headliner House Classic for the coach, writer, entrepreneur wanting inspiration and accountability to reach that wider audience. With this, you get Wednesday sessions. On Wednesday, that's where we have produce, promote, and pitch. Every week, you have prompts for those, so you always have an idea of what you can do. You also get 3 curated editor pitch requests. So if you're looking for those bigger magazines and stuff, I also share those. You get co-working sessions every Friday, led by Sarah Murphy, who is a literary PhD and an esteemed journalist and an editor herself. So she also gives feedback during certain times. So it's a really great insight. And you get monthly guaranteed feedback. So you can get notes on a pitch or like a page of copy, 1 or 2 pages of copy every single month. Those are live, but they're also recorded. All of this is recorded, so you can watch it whenever you like. And then we also have a new thing coming up starting in December, an Ask Anytime private podcast. So you get to ask your questions about any of this stuff. I will answer via private podcast, so you can listen to it whenever. And there's a library of pitch training. So if you want pitching to be part of what you do, because it's a great skill set to have, I've got everything you need, everything you need. Now, that is the classic tier. That's the classic tier. And then we have Supreme. So you get everything in classic. And this one is more for the coach or creative entrepreneur, where business is going to be a little more of a priority this year. You're making 2025 the last year you don't get paid what you deserve. So you get everything in classic plus a Telegram group. And in that Telegram group, you do get to network and talk with other people in the group. We also have offer and email tune-ups. So if you have questions about changing your offer, if your newsletters aren't working, your emails aren't converting, you can ask there and you'll get asynchronous support from me. We have decision parties. Those are, if you have something you can't decide, like a title or something, you put it in there and everybody can help you decide. It's very fun. Simplify salons. If you know you're overthinking or overcomplicating, put your stuff in that channel and I will show you and others ways to make it easier. You also get a monthly extra call with me and a sales showcase every month. So Sunday Shopping is a newsletter that goes out to everybody in Headliner House. So you will get to advertise your offers to a warm audience. You can test out lead magnets, you can put in your offers, and you get a chance to do that consistently. So you're automatically getting a little bit of an advertising platform just for being here. And then the top level is Headliner House VIP. This is for the mogul who's ready for her close-up now. You want 10K months. The era of I can do everything myself is over, and into excellent support mode required is where you are heading. So you get everything in Classic and Supremes. You also get weekly private Telegram coaching from me. We move just very fast. In sessions like this in one day, I've helped people figure out new lead magnets, new offers, ways to do their sales page, ways to do their emails. Like, we can bust out a big chunk of stuff you're working on at every one of these. And because it's on Telegram, it's just on your phone. It's free to use. And you can just like leave me a voice note when you're done doing dishes. I get back to you. I've had a client do one in the bathtub and it was kind of great because she got to like really just think freely. So you get that support once a week. I'm very good at helping you do things fast. So when you are like over yourself, you can reach out once a week. You have a lot of coaching for very fast moving. You also get a solo promo to my 11,000 person newsletter. You'll get those periodically. So again, another just built-in advertising platform for you. And soon enough, you will also be able to lead those Wednesday sessions. So you'll get a chance to do a workshop for the audience, teach something, try out a talk. It's a great way for you to get to, flesh out more of your expertise, reach an audience in a different way. And you'll have that Zoom recording too that you can use for promotions and all that jazz. So that is the VIP tier. So I want you to think about it again. Now, this one you can join month to month, but it is great if you can sign up for a year, just because in 1 month, nobody's stuff changes that drastically, typically. But in a year, it can look 100% different from where you are now. So for Headliner House, the VIP top level is $495 a month or $4,950 a year. You get 2 free months. Supreme is $295 a month or $29.50 for the year. And Classic is $95 a month or $950 for the year. So the year you get 2 free months. And with these, people have made anywhere from $300 to $1,200 just from pitching articles. We had 10 sales from a limerick, and 9 out of 10 people featured in my newsletter, which you get in the Supremes and top level and VIP level, make a sale or have gotten between 500 to 200 new subscribers. So it's that kind of audience baked in. So if you're not sure what you want to choose, just think, how fast do you want to move? How fast do you want to do this? The higher the tier, the faster you go. And we've got before Black Friday bonuses. So for Classic, if you sign up by Tuesday night, you get invited to the most productive day. This is a 3-hour retreat broken into doable pieces. This is great to get a bunch of writing work done or social media done. People have written full sales pages, written email sequences, gotten a whole book of prompts together just during this time. This is going to be the first weekend of December. Supreme, if you sign up by Tuesday, you get this virtual retreat, a 1-day Zoom where we're going to really set up your energy and weirdness and goals to set up your marketing for the new year. So we're thinking about goals in a new way, how we can engage our creativity, and setting up January. I'm not thinking about the whole year, quite frankly, because I can't think that far ahead, but we'll set it up so January, February, you know what you're doing and feel really good about it. That's also going to be the first week of December. So Supremes get a whole weekend of retreats. If you buy in full by Tuesday, you also get to have your offer featured in my full newsletter. Everybody that signs up for the Supremes in this time period will get to be in that special newsletter. And VIP, if you sign up by Tuesday, I will write your ad copy. I will write 1 piece of ad copy. I could write ad copy and tell you about my Facebook ads that worked. I could write copy you could use for a newsletter, whatever you want. So I will write 1 piece of ad copy for you if you sign up for VIP by Tuesday. And if you pay in full by Tuesday, you get to come to my Hollywood Hot Tub Mastermind. Literally in Hollywood, literally hot tubs. This will be, we're gonna plan a whole launch for you. Plan a whole launch in a day, and it's gonna feel fun. There's only 5 people can come to this, so when that runs out, it runs out. And it looks like this. This is the place. It's literally in the Hollywood Hills. So we won't be in the hot tub the whole time. But that will be January 31st, I believe. 30th or 31st, I apologize, I don't remember, but it's one of those. And it's good hot tub weather in LA. So those are the bonuses. So now is a very good time so that you can feel in control when you're starting the new year, because you'll get a head start. You get to start immediately. And these bonuses are pretty fucking awesome. So go to amberpetty.com/headliner. And again, those bonuses end on Tuesday. But no matter what you do, no matter what you sign up for, after today, be weird, be original, be cringe. Because cringe.
Accents and impressions. Ew, ew, ew. In car confessions. Ew, ew, ew.
More in obsession.
Ew, ew, ew. What will they say?
TikTok's really selling.
Ew, ew, ew.
Honestly compelling.
Ew, ew, ew.
Openly excelling.
Ew, ew, ew.
Ooh, what will they say? Weird and all kept you small. It's safer. Or, but weird breaks through. Your voice is true. It's not high school anymore. It feels a lot less cringe when the checks come in. A lot less cringe when the checks come in. You gotta earn those fools and go all in. It feels a lot less cringe when the checks come in. Life's not an audition. Show off your ambition. You don't need permission. Who cares what they say? Make a mark, your brilliant spark. They all will adore. Cringe at first, but then they thirst. And all they want is more. It feels a lot less cringe when the checks come in. A lot less cringe when the checks come in. You gotta earn those fools and go all in. It feels a lot less cringe when the checks come in. Bare your soul to a world of trolls takes extreme conviction. But you're just too great to give up your fate for some hateful fiction. It's time to shine, make weird your life. Keep getting bolder. Fitting in is nice till it cuts your price. And weird is just the eye of the beholder. Less cringe when the checks come in. It feels a lot less cringe when the checks come in. You gotta irk those fools and go all in. It feels a lot less cringe when the checks come in.
Yay! All right. Thank you so much for being here. Yay. All right. Oh, not too late. Not too late. Woo! All right, everybody. Real quick, and thank you for hearts, hearts and claps. Alrighty, so there is the Headliner House. You can also find it at amberpetty.com/headline. Fantastic. It should be your mantra. Yes, it's a lot less cringe till the checks come in. And that was another where I was like, oh, that sounds fun. I want to do a song again. And then I was like, but why does it need to be a song? But I was like, it helps you remember. I honestly want people to remember this. It's easier to remember in a song. Fantastic. So if you have to go, absolutely. I've already gone a little bit long. And so that's totally cool. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, I am happy to stay on for questions. If you have questions about Headliner House, bonuses, all the beautiful stuff we do there, that's amazing. Yay, Cecily. Or if you have other questions, feel free. So let me, yay, oh, bye, RC, no problem. Yes, and you will all get the replay now. The sad thing is, the replay will not have the opening song, so I'll have to redo it so that it has that because I started the recording after that. But that's okay. We still get all of it. Awesome. Oh, lovely. Yay. All right, sorry, I'm just looking through. Yes, bye, Kaylee. All right. I saw devastating. I was like, what? Oh, missing the opening number. Yes, I will. I will. That one will. You'll be hearing it because it's my headliner house theme. Devin, these songs are not available right now, but I'm gonna put it on YouTube or something soon because I think they're fun. Marianne, how to find and buy newsletter ads. So newsletter ads really. Oh wow, a lot of lipstick moving around. That's okay. Um, Laura, if you are already in pitching hour, yep, that means you're just automatically grandfathered into HH Classic. You don't have to do anything. Your price stays the same. You're just already in that naturally. If you want to go up a tier, you can just email me and I'll let you know how to do that. So newsletter ads, one of the simplest ways is you Google like your audience, like the audience you're looking to target, and then Google newsletter ads or Google newsletter classifieds. You will then start finding some stuff. Then also just look at, okay, who sends emails in your industry? Because maybe they don't technically have ads, but that doesn't mean they won't think about it. You know, especially with an ad, you're offering to pay somebody. So if somebody just sends out emails to an audience that is like yours, but they're not selling the same thing, reach out to them and ask if they would be interested in doing an ad. And that's how you start. Awesome. Oh, Mariola. Oh, that's lovely. Fantastic. Oh, at YouTube, I do have a song called "Don't Let the Assholes Win" on YouTube. That is true. That one's up there. Much Less Cringe. You'll definitely hear the headliner song again, and Much Less Cringe I do actually think is quite fun. So, all right, Laura. Yay! Yes, Weirdos Originals unite. What a delight, everybody. I want to thank you so much for being here. It's just so fun. Thank you so much. Thanks for waiting through the technical difficulties at the top. And you're all great. You're all interesting, and you all deserve to be bigger than you are. And wouldn't that be nice to see more of everybody in here than the people we do see all the time, right? So do it. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You'll get the replay soon, and I'll see you then. Bye.